Eluma is a personal productivity tool that helps you keep all of your web stuff organized and in one place, whether it's web pages, RSS feeds for your favorite news sites or blogs, or maybe you're doing some research on a topic and you want to keep all of the information that you find online organized for future reference. And with Eluma, you can keep all of your stuff completely private, or you can choose to share any of it with anyone that you want to. So here's what the Eluma application looks like. It should look pretty familiar, especially if you're already an Outlook user or an iTunes user. On the left-hand side, I have different panes to organize my content. And on the right side, the content gets displayed for me to see. The pane on the top left, what we call the navigation pane, is where I can create folders and subfolders to organize my content, just like in Windows Explorer. Below that pane is the Subscribe Collections area, where I can see any collections of content that I subscribe to from the Eluma universe of content, or what we call the Elumaverse. Below that is my Smart List area, where my content automatically gets organized into folders according to different criteria. And below that is the Media pane, where I can display different kinds of content, or widgets, or video, for example, where right now it's cycling through the latest news feeds. We try to make it easy for you not only to customize the content you see within Eluma, but to also customize the look and feel of the application. Here I'll change some of the Smart List folders that get displayed, and I'll just turn off the display of the Media pane. You can customize the display and the layout of the app in lots of other ways. For example, I can toggle between full desktop mode and sidebar mode. And what I really like about sidebar mode is that if I'm using other applications, like the browser for example, I can still see the content that I've organized, or I can add more content to a folder, or navigate to the item that I want, and Eluma doesn't take up the whole screen. One of the things that Eluma makes it easy to do is to collect and organize new content that I find while I'm browsing the web. Eluma comes with a browser toolbar that works with both Internet Explorer and with Firefox, so that when I browse to an item that I want to collect, I can do it right from the browser. So if I want to add this technology review web page to my technology folder in Eluma, I just click on the Add to Eluma button. Or I can just click on the URL in the address bar in the browser and just drag and drop it into the folder where I want to save it in Eluma. Now whenever I want to see that item, I just open my technology folder in Eluma and click on it, and I see it in the view pane on the right hand side, or double click on it and it will open in my browser. With Eluma, I can organize RSS feeds and web pages together in folders and treat the objects in a consistent way. If you've tried to do this with browsers, well, you know that browsers force you to keep bookmarks and RSS feeds separate. RSS readers don't do a good job of letting you manage bookmarks, and bookmark managers don't work well with RSS feeds. So here I'll include this RSS feed for Engadget alongside other bookmarks in my technology folder and treat all of the content in a consistent manner. I can also tag any content. So if I prefer to organize using tags instead of folders, I can do that as well. So here you'll see this feed for Engadget in my Eluma, and I'll drag it into my technology folder and organize it in a manner consistent with all of the other web objects. Notice that I have some buttons up on top in the Eluma application. The first button is a flag, which is a shortcut to identify any content that's important, and any items that you flag appear in the Smart List pane under flagged items. We have other buttons to turn feeds into desktop alerts so that whenever there's a new item in a news feed or a blog, it gets displayed in a pop-up window directly to your desktop. So let's go back to my personal collections area, and you'll see that I have a collection about plasma TVs. Well, I just bought a plasma TV for my living room, but before I did, I found as much research online as I could, and I used Eluma to organize it. Well, it turns out that one of my friends is looking at buying a plasma TV for his house, so I shared my Eluma collection of plasma TV research that I built with him. And I did that by right-clicking on the folder and selecting on the Publish Folder item. And when I publish a folder, I can publish it to one person, to a group of people, or to the entire Eluma community. So I publish this folder as a private collection that only he can see. And when he clicks on the invitation, it appears down here in his Subscribe Collections area. If he keeps it here in his Subscribe Collections area, he'll see any updates that I make to the content. Or if he drags it into his own personal collections area, he can use my folder as a starting point and he can add to it and make any changes that he wants to. So notice that I have lots of collections here in my subscribe collections area. Eluma comes pre-populated with a few hundred collections that span lots of different topics, like news and sports and video games and entertainment. So here's a collection of top feeds that contains the Huffington Post. So I can flag it or tag it or set it as an alert right within the subscribed collection, so I can get a pop-up alert every time there's a new item published by the Huffington Post. Or I can drag any of the content into any of my personal collections, so that can be a nice way to start to populate some of my own personal collections. Many of the collections in the Elumaverse give you a complete, well-rounded set of information about a topic, which is something you don't usually get from search engine results. So typing into the search box on the top left searches both the Elumaverse as well as within the Google search engine. And from the Eluma search results, it's easy to add any of the collections that you find, or any of the items within any of the collections. You can easily add that to your content within Eluma. So we've tried to make Eluma easy and fun to use. It's first and foremost a tool to help you do a better job of organizing all the stuff you're finding on the web. And of course, if you want to, you can share anything that you've organized, or you can discover interesting things from other users. We hope you check it out, we hope you like it, and we hope it helps you to be just a bit more organized.
Eluma.